Good evening, Sami Abdel Noor. We're a few days into the new year. Christmas and New Year's Eve are just probably a week or so behind us by now. Don't know what the date is. Today I have a cold and a headache. But I found necessary to talk about the subject of New Year's and Christmas because many non-Arab Muslims have a deeply rooted belief that this is non-Islamic and you shouldn't participate in such festivities. They should not be condoned and stuff like that. The reason is exactly because these people are not Arab and they don't know Arabic and they have no idea what Arab history is. Mainly Persians and Turks, and what this has led to throughout history. It has led to a gross misrepresentation of Islam itself and of Arab history. To begin with, the Kaaba, which Muslims all over the world circumambulate, was essentially during Muhammad's day made vacant of everything. Muhammad destroyed everything in it and kept only one thing. It was empty, except he kept an icon of Jesus Christ in it. And all the Muslims of the day of Muhammad's day used to circumambulate the Kaaba with an icon of Jesus in it. And this remained as such until the Kaaba was burnt later after Muhammad, a long period after Muhammad's death in the Umayyad era. After that, most of the Arab Muslim armies were essentially made of Christian Arab tribes who became Muslim because they considered it the same religion. Muhammad's religion was their religion because they did not believe in the divinity of Christ. This is European, Western, and it was forced upon Arabs, and they considered Muhammad or Islam as their religion, the original form of Christianity which came to save their religion. So most of the very famous conquerors were from Christian Arab tribes, such as the Arab conqueror of Europe, or Spain, Portugal, parts of Italy, and the parts of Europe that the Arabs entered. Early Muslims prayed in Christian churches, Christian Arab churches, of course. This is all Arab, it has nothing to do with non-Arabs. So when the early conquerors came out of the Arabian Peninsula, they would pray in Arab churches in Syria and Iraq, Palestine, and you could pray the way you like. You could pray sitting down or kneeling, the way Muslims do now, or the way Christians do now. The main mosque at the time was the Mosque of Damascus. The Umayyad Mosque was a church and remained a church, and the Arab Muslims and Christians prayed there together. And this remained the case wherever the Arabs went. They did not destroy churches anywhere, and they would pray either here or there in a mosque or a church wherever any was available. And even there are many Caliphs who commissioned the building of churches also. Arab Caliphs. Arab Christianity, the head of the system was the Muslim Caliph. The Arab Christians originally did not recognize any political authority other than that of the Caliph, the Arab Muslim Caliph, who granted them via Jerusalem safety and protection. And all Christian festivities and activities were all done under the sponsorship of the Arab Islamic Caliphate throughout history. Until the Arabs lost power to the Turks and the Persians. And then everything changed, and we have the version of Islam which now you hear most. This sort of discriminatory kind of backward type of religion, which is Persian and Turkish, not Arab. I'm going to read a letter by an Arab Muslim Caliph, a letter of investiture, and I usually do this in class. No one knows what it is. They usually think it is a Islamic religious sermon. You guess what it is. It's long, it's three pages long. I'm not going to read it all, just excerpts. Praise be to God, blah blah blah, whose authority is immense, whose praise is obligatory. God takes unto himself neither consort nor son, shares his kingdom with no one, was not born so as to be begotten, and did not beget so as to be circumscribed. How high and glorious he towers over what the transgressors say. Praise be to God who selected Muhammad from the Arabs, noblest in rank and most honorable in mother and father, blah blah blah. Were eradicated and wavering of those who blah blah blah. Pledge of righteousness was eliminated, and Islam reached the point where its banner was raised high, its boundaries stretched far and wide, its call exalted to the remotest regions, and its message was endorsed by the signal victory. Goes on for 3 pages. So as I said, most people think this is a religious sermon by the Caliph. Actually what it is a letter of investiture for the appointment of an Arab Christian patriarch. So the entire clergy, the Christian clergy, was subservient and part of the Arab Islamic Caliphate, and the patriarchs themselves were appointed by the Muslim Caliph. And as I said, even churches were commissioned to be built by Arab Muslim Caliphs. So it's a completely different picture, maybe new to you, because you don't know Arabic. This is an Arab religion, and if you're interested in it, you should learn Arabic. Salam.